Hey everyone, William Selway here, and welcome to Content Matrix. Now in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how you can create a solid, reliable, and high-performing content strategy to be used alongside DM Sorcery to create a constant flywheel for your prospects who you connect with and reach out to. A, to get them booked into your appointments, and B, to get them booked into your calendar without even talking to them. Okay, so it will facilitate the DM Sorcery system and also create a flywheel of appointment booking so you can get people booked into your calendar using social media without even messaging them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can define, build and launch a content strategy to be used alongside your DM Sorcery system. Content can be an extremely powerful tool when leveraged correctly. It can create an automatic flywheel for nurturing and converting cold, warm and engaged prospects. Remember, perception is reality and judgment is inevitable. People are going to look at your profile. What they see is reality, and they are inevitable to judge you based on your content. And the way people see you is everything. It is in our control how people perceive us based on how we present ourselves online. Warning, this resource is an extremely powerful tool to have in your arsenal, and I promise you this. When leveraged correctly, your appointment booking machine will transcend the boundaries of DM Sorcery, and you will find prospects become engaged without even receiving stimuli. So we're going to break this down in as simplest terms as I possibly can and show you the flywheel that is possible when you add content to your DM Sorcery system. So this is DM Sorcery alongside the content matrix. Now, your traffic will be defined by two different variables. We have just generalized traffic and we have owned traffic. Now, generalized or cold traffic will result in people coming to your profile from a friend or connection request you've sent to them or content you've posted online. This is categorized into just general traffic, and people will find your profile as a result of the content you're posting and the cold outbound efforts you're sending to people. Once someone has accepted your connection request or come to your profile, they will be moved into owned traffic. Now, once someone has accepted your connection request, friend request, or followed you, you now own that person's profile, and you own all of the traffic that they put towards you using social media. So once they've come into the friend or connection requests and they are part of your profile, we then have a constant flywheel here of how we can use content and DM Sorcery stimuli to book calls. So first things first, the minute someone is a friend of yours or they follow you or they're in your connections list, they'll be seeing two things from you. They'll be seeing the content that you post and the stimuli that you send them. There's two options that can happen here. They can either convert from your content or the DM Sorcery stimuli into a booked call, or they can not reply. And if they don't reply, this is where content becomes extremely valuable. Because if they don't reply, they're now part of your owned traffic. And they're going to constantly see your content over and over and over again. And it creates a flywheel here. They don't reply to your messages. They go back to seeing your content. They may book a call then. You may then lose the deal on the call. They'll go back to seeing your content. You might book them in again. You might lose a deal again. They go back and see your content. As long as you own this traffic, your content is going to serve the purpose of warming and engaging these prospects after they've either not replied to your stimuli or even hopped on a call and not converted. Okay. Also, there's another flywheel here. You could to convert people from the content or DM Sorcery here. You could lose the deal and they go straight back into your own traffic and you've got the content again. And a constant flywheel of people seeing your content and booking in. Okay. For example, another one here. They could book a call, come on as a client and leave you. They might even come back and see your content again and join up again in the future. There's a constant flywheel that content can provide for you when you are utilizing it correctly. And if you own someone's profile, using social media, then content is going to provide the foundations of re-engaging and nurturing these leads. Even if they book a call with you, even if they come on as a client, even if they don't reply to you, they're still going to see your content, and you effectively own that person's profile while they're in your connections list. Quick note before we even get started here. Okay, so content isn't a necessity for seeing results with DM Sorcery. If you're watching this right now and you haven't set up any outbound systems, do not look at this as an excuse to spend the next few weeks perfecting the art of content creation. Just start sending outreach messages and set this up later. So what is a content matrix? Most people assume success with content creation is just luck or fluke. They enter blindly with no idea of who they're targeting, what pain their market feels, or what problems they face on a daily basis. Good content is created when pain is addressed and alleviated. And pain is addressed and alleviated when value is created. Winning content equals value plus consistency over time. Time is a bound metric that we can't necessarily control. The only thing you can control is the value you provide to your market by alleviating pain, problems, and desires that your market resonates with. Consistency allows you to bend the constraint that time puts on this system, and also the quality of the value you're producing to a market. As long as you can control the value and make sure it's aligned with the market's pain, problems, and desires, and you're being consistent, you can start bending the rules here and bringing down the time it takes to create a winning content strategy. The biggest creators in any space understand this and follow a system. It's not luck. They defined their niche, they understand its pain points, and they know in great detail what problems they face on a daily basis. Their content gives value that addresses the pain for their niche, alleviating it on a micro scale. You won't fix their problem with content, but you will allow them to resonate with it and understand and alleviate that pain and make them understand that pain on a micro scale. Once that pain has been addressed and alleviated enough, and by enough I mean that pain has been alleviated on a micro scale 10 to 20 times using your content. When it's been addressed and alleviated to enough that's sufficient for them, your niche will associate your content's value with a fix for their desires, pain, and problems, and take action to fix this for themselves, i.e. book a call with you. The foundations of your content strategy lie within the desires, pain points, and problems of your niche. Before we can solve a problem, first we have to define what it actually is. So how do we do that? First things first, you need to go back to the drawing board and you need to actually define your niche. Step 1, what do you do for clients? For example, a definition here. We do client acquisition for agencies, coaches, and consultants. Another definition, I do lead gen for e-com brands. Another definition, I do listings for real estate agents. Pause this video and define what you do for your clients below. Next, break what you do or your definition into 3 to 5 macro components. So our definition for EasyGrow is client acquisition for agencies. The macro components of client acquisition for agencies go into mindset, offer creation, appointment booking, sales, and service delivery. There's a lot more, but they're the main 5 macro components. So pause the video and define the macro components of what you do or your definition below in here. Step 3, break each macro component into 10 to 15 micro components. So another example, our definition of our service is client acquisition for agencies. The macro component example is appointment booking. What are the micro components of appointment booking? Lead generation, actually running the systems and managing the systems, building the systems, system fundamentals and understanding how to approach building appointment systems, mindset, replying to prospects, cold email, cold DM, cold calling, cold SMS, hiring appointment setters, scaling your system, automating your system, and objection handling. So pause the video here and define the micro components of your macro component right now in here. Step 4. We need to define each micro component's most painful problems. Every single component of what you do and what your niche faces on a daily basis will have painful problems, have things that are wrong with them, have things that they face on a daily basis they want fixing. The micro components hide the pain points, problems, and desires of your niche. So for example, with lead generation here, some of the painful problems are the time it takes, getting poor quality leads, the cost, and just getting bad results. For cold calling, it's time, effort, emotional energy, hang-ups, low pickup rate, bad leads, gatekeepers. These are things that your niche will face on a daily basis as a part of the micro component that they're running as a part of their macro component. For cold email, we have deliverability, negative replies, high cost, low ABR, and daily sending limits being quite low. Okay, these are the most painful points of the micro component you're trying to define here. So pause the video and define your micro components pain points below, and you need to go into as much detail as possible here. The more you have, the more you can leverage in your content to provide value and fix the pain points, problems, and desires of your niche. You need to understand your niche in the most granular detail that you possibly can, and the more time you spend here defining the problems that they face on a daily basis, the more value you can create and the more success you will achieve with your content matrix. Pause the video, spend an hour doing this. I promise you it's only going to be a good thing. So now you have the problems, pain points, and desires of your niche split up into specific components of their day-to-day. You need to leverage the above in every single piece of content you make. Every single piece of content that you make and post to support the DM Sorcery system needs to leverage the problems, pain points, and desires that you've identified doing the above task. You can take this one step further. If you have a lot of experience with your niche, you can take this definition one step further by defining pain points and problems at the macro scale. So for example, we can start looking at appointment booking in general. We can get into the more granular details here, the more emotional side of things, and say like, you know, how hard it is to run appointment booking systems, the emotional energy it takes to run them, not getting results, the cost. Okay, obviously these all tie into the micro components, but if you're working within a niche, you should have an idea of what is the most painful thing they deal with on a daily basis. Do this exercise and get as much as you can here to leverage in your content. But if you have anything that falls outside of the bounds of this task, pop it in below, okay? Because the more you have here and the more you understand your market, the better your content matrix will be. So it's now time to build your content matrix, okay? So building your content matrix. Your content matrix or machine is a well-oiled machine. You need to feed it specific inputs so that you can receive your desired output. This next section will show you how to systemize your content matrix with specific posts, inputs, to book more calls, outputs. So below are over 200 winning templates that you can use as a foundation of your winning content matrix. So what we've realized here is that good content templates are already done for you. Your niche and your competitors are already posting content and seeing results and making a fuck ton of money by leveraging the pain points, problems, and desires of the niche you work in. So what we've done for you here is we've gone online and we've just generalized and we found loads of examples of winning content. And effectively, we've given you a framework here so you can just plug and play the specific pain points that you've identified above into your content matrix. I'm not going to go through all of these. We'll just click on the first one here, but they're broken down into 4 different types of post. Example A are like educate me. This is where you effectively educate your niche. Example B is challenge your niche, where you effectively say something and get them to challenge you on it. Example C is entertain, so you effectively entertain your niche with some shiny objects about the pain points they're facing on a daily basis. And finally, empathize. Empathize with your niche, make them understand how hard it is, and make sure you resonate with them and fix that with your content. So we'll run through the first one here. And what we've done this, and the way this is actually laid out for you, is we are giving you a framework here and then giving you an example of someone in the niche who's actually used this and got results. Okay? So, for example, this can be broken down into one thing you did today. I hit 100K in revenue today. Now, obviously, this will be a big pain point for agency owners. They all want to be doing 100K per month, but not many are. By saying something generalized to the pain points, you can put yourself as a position of power in the niche. Next, some short context. This should normally be around a micro component. For example, cold email. So you can say, I hit 100K in revenue today, all from cold email. Here are 5 lessons I learned in the last 12 months. And then you put in value and you fix that problem on a micro scale for the niche and give them some value here about how to fix it. Okay. Now, as you notice from this, it's not done in a way where you specifically are told to put in the pain point here or told to put in the micro component here. If we do that, then every single piece of content that everyone in this course creates is going to be the exact same. So you have to look at this with an open mind, and you have to create this and use your own power. It's designed in this way on purpose, because trust me, if you come to us in the community and ask, how do I structure this? How do I put my pain points into this? We're going to tell you to go off and just do it yourself. Because if we tell you how to do it, we're not effectively teaching you. We're doing you a disservice. You need to be able to learn to do this yourself. Another example here, how to do thing. And you can mention how to do a painful thing in the niche, how to build a one-person business. And then you mention the old way versus the new way. So the old way, you resonate with them and mention most of the pain points that they're facing on a daily basis that don't work anymore. And then you fix that problem on a micro scale, alleviating that pain for them. So for example, the old way, Facebook ads, fancy website, webinar funnel, email campaigns, and you explain all the painful things that you identified in your matrix of your niche, and then you fix them with a new way that they're probably not trying. And then you do new versus old. Again, another one. 3 reasons to do something. Reasons to do something. So the reasons to build a Twitter audience. Again, this is something they're probably not doing, and you can fix their pain on a micro scale. And you can say, for example, if we were going to go back here and say that cold calling is hard, takes a lot of time, and you get a lot of hang-ups. We can do reason to outsource cold calling to an appointment setter. Number 1 benefit, less time. Number 2 benefit, less emotional effort. And number 3, don't have to deal with hang-ups. What you need to be doing in these examples is fixing their pain on a low micro scale. And then you say, don't not do thing. So don't cold call yourself. You effectively want to use these templates to provide value to your niche, make them aware of the pain that they're feeling, and then fix it on a micro scale. Okay? So this does leave room for interpretation, but it's designed that way because the one way to see success with a content matrix is to create this yourself. And we don't want to tell you how to do it. We want to give you the framework and let you go off and create your own things. I promise you in the long run, it's the best way for you to learn and grow. Okay? Another one here. 3 things that will make outcome easier. Trust me when I say step 1, step 2, and step 3. So we say, trust me when I say writing down your goals, refining them into small tasks, and prioritizing each day will make it 100 times easier to actually achieve your goals. Okay? So for example, trust me when I say outsourcing cold calling, improving lead quality and automating your cold email sequence will make it 100 times easier to get to 10K a month. Okay, probably a very bad example, but leverage the pain points here, fix them on a micro scale, resonate with their pain points, and then relying on your memory isn't reliable. Distractions are all around you. Okay, so there's loads in here, and effectively take it here, use the example, and make it your own. So for example, this is a really good one. Rookie cold emailer. Does all of the cold email himself, spends a lot of money and doesn't get any bookings. Pro cold emailer, automates with appointment setters. Okay. And then you explain that. And effectively, you want to fix the niche's problem on a small scale. Okay? So there's loads of examples in here that you can use. Another good one here, you can say bad way or a bad email, and you can list all of the bad things that your niche is probably doing with their cold email. In the good way, then you fix their problem by saying you should be automating it, you should be using instantly, you should be doing a risk reversal in the first sentence. Okay? The goal here is to provide value to your market using the framework in here. Okay? So go through these. We have ones for every single different type. So these are all like ways you can educate your niche. We have ways you can challenge your niche, entertain your niche, and also get them to empathize with you. Okay, so go through there, build it out. What I recommend doing is just building out 100 pieces of content and just posting it every single day for the next 100 days. Again, don't overthink it. Just do it, test, iterate, and find your winning content matrix, essentially. So for the posting schedule, okay, volume is the key to a successful content matrix. There are no set SOPs for how many posts you should make per day or week. As an absolute minimum, I would post to your accounts at least 4 times per week. However, posting daily or multiple times per day is only going to increase the results you get with the system. Remember, Hormozy puts out 250 pieces of content a week. Volume equals success with content. And the more volume you're doing, the more you can analyze the feedback, analyze, how many likes you're getting, how many conversions you're getting, how many people are applying and talking about the content on a sales call. Volume is the key to success here. The more you do, the better results you will get. Keep that in mind. 250 pieces of content a week is crazy, but he's grown so fast and set that as the golden standard here. So please note, the above templates are a great place to start to get your foot in the door with content creation for DM Sorcery. We've given these to you so you essentially don't have to think in the early stages. So you can go in here, build out a content strategy, have it up and running, and get results very quickly. However, there's a big however, you will likely reach a point where you need to step out of the bounds of templated posts and create an organic content matrix that is specific to you. Think of these templates as your opportunity to do scientific research in your niche. Test approaches, monitor feedback. This is so important. Monitor the feedback you're getting from posts, likes, comments, conversions, DMs, people speaking about it on a sales call. Monitor all of that. Iterate and test again. You have the foundations in front of you to go out and build a content matrix that is unique to you. Take what you know about your niche's specific pain points, desires, and problems and test, and test again until you've created your own unique approach to content creation. Remember, theory will only take you so far. And this is a great quote from Robert J. Oppenheimer. I'm not sure if he actually said it, but it was in the Oppenheimer movie. And I remember listening to it in the cinema. I was with Charlie at the time in the cinema. And it kind of blew me away. And I was like, I've been spending so much time in the theory stages and trying to work out exactly how I can get things to work. And I was like, you know what? This theory shit will only take me so far. It's up to me to go out and create a unique approach, test, iterate, and test again. Remember, theory will only take you so far.